Okay. This meeting is open.
Can you hear me? Thank you.
So we'll call this meeting to order. We'll now approve the minutes from the last meeting, August 1st. Has everybody had a chance to read those?
Make a motion to approve the meeting.
Okay,
Second.
second.
They're here.
Gosh,
They're
darn it,
just
hang on.
walking in.
Are they? Okay.
Now the truck.
I gotta turn my phone down. Get my pen. Okay, so we've got a motion to approve and a second. Is there any other discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So the minutes have been approved. So you say they're coming in?
Yep, they're
Okay.
walking in right now. Oh, that's my copy, but you already signed it, so.
I sign one.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think it's better.
If not, this one.
Sorry, kids.
Hello.
We're done.
Hello.
Cool.
Okay, even better.
Going, Dennis.
Even better.
Got some water?
No, we just,
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
we just approved the minutes from the last meeting.
Here, right there, you in that black thing right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
my bad, sorry.
So, okay, based on the agenda, we don't really have any old business or new business, but we'll move on into a work session. And previous meetings, we've discussed protective overlay zone and even talked a little bit about mixed use zoning. But now that there's been some other circumstances, I went back and reviewed our bylaws. And the bylaws state that our duty is to make or cause to be made, adopted, and maintain an official comprehensive development plan for the city within Stafford County, which in the Commission's opinion forms the total community subject to approval of the governing body by ordinance, and there's an ordinance number here. And then beyond that, we annually, once that comprehensive plan has been prepared and approved, then on an annual basis, we review that and reconsider it for any necessary changes. So, and I know that Pam addressed the city council because at our last meeting, we kind of agreed to go ahead and consider moving forward with a comprehensive plan. She made a proposal to the city council, and they were okay with it, but they
I
were
think,
not.
yeah, they were just not not comfortable, but they're not familiar with comprehensive plan, so they don't want to make decision. Like, it's not like they don't want to spend money to not have it, but I think what I got is they want to learn more a little bit about what it's actually going to do for the city. It is going to be worth spending money on.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I get with Ryan, and we have come up with some of the other city that have the comprehensive plans and how it works and stuff like that. Here's some information here, and then Ryan will be presenting a little bit more of like what other cities are doing as far as that goes.
Same size of city as us, Pam and
Um,
Ryan?
No.
Yeah, there's well, I'll get into it, but there's variations depending on size, obviously. So,
Well,
there's one that they have presented that is a similar size, but they wanted to show different. I talked to, I guess I'm gonna get into it a little bit. I talked to a consultant yesterday, and they shared three different proposals based on the depth of what people wanted. So basically, the comprehensive plan starts with what's the purpose of the plan, and they're not all one size fits all. And so you have to define basically what are your overarching priorities, and then what's your land use map for the future land use. And so those are the two main things, is like what are our overarching priorities, and what comes out of the overarching priorities is basically the city's work plan for the next 10 years. And they suggested not doing anything more than 10 years long. And so basically just, this is your work plan as a city to make decisions moving forward and how to move things forward. So that's the basics. So they wanted to show different plans so you could see. The Ketchy one, I think, is the one closest to size of St. John.
Keachai.
Keachai, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
And it's
Keachai.
about twice the population.
Yeah.
Keachai?
Plus, it's also a suburb of Wichita anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no separation really.
Yeah. I can get other plans from different cities. I had one from Dodge City. Obviously, they're a lot bigger than us.
I
But I helped
helped
you
write
have
that
some?
one.
You,
I helped that.
You helped with that one?
I was
Okay, good.
involved with the
Yeah.
comprehensive plan.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so, and I was gonna suggest too, I mean, you can get on, Facebook or, just the internet and search and do, comprehensive planning, through Wikipedia, and it gives you a whole list of definitions of the processes and what a comprehensive plan is. Some people call it a master plan, some people call it a strategic plan. Now, Stafford County did a strategic plan back in 1992. So I don't think it's been updated since then. But it's very it's very complete, but it hasn't been updated. And it talks about population, how, the growth projections. And I can tell you for Stafford County and St. John and most of the communities around here, it's going like this. And probably within the next 10 years, will be less than 1,000 people for sure. So I would like to make sure that, we are a small town, so we don't have to look high and plan on some kind of massive growth. We just need to maintain what we have and to help, businesses come to town, help housing, and that's what we do in a comprehensive or master plan, is identify that. Our housing needs, our commercial needs. There are a series, and I think there's some examples that Ryan showed that it encompasses mapping. So you'll have, and we've got a zoning map, which kind of defines what our existing land uses are, but it's not complete. I mean, it's, because we've got park systems, the green areas we need to identify. There's a whole lot of areas on the city limits that are not identified. I mean, they're identified as residential, but they're really not. They're wheat fields, and it needs to be agricultural, or in our plan, that's where we and the community define where we want future growth. So you identify that. It's okay. I mean, as an example, on our zoning map, we show the railroad coming through town. Well, there's only like a 3 or 4 block area that's identified as industrial. Everything else is residential. Well, we need to look at that, because these railroad areas are more suitable for industrial uses. So those are the kind of things that we need to take a look at. I would suggest, this is just an initial process of defining things, but we need to have a community survey done. And that's one of the very first things that you do is you get a feel for the community, you get a feel for the city council, economic development, those kind of groups. And you put a survey out and decide on, we're gonna have to probably sit down and decide on what kind of questions to ask. There's all kinds of examples out there, and people, other communities ask different things, but we got to kind of stick with what we're interested in. So we ask the question, how do you feel about our residential areas? How do you feel about other commercial uses that we have? Do you want to protect the downtown commercial zone solely as commercial? We've talked about mixed uses, and there's some communities that are allowing more apartments and residential uses in the upper floors of their downtown. I think Great Bend is starting a project. Well, Stafford's probably looking at it too.
They are doing it.
Yeah, but I think Great Bend is they've started the process of renovating some of the upper floors for apartments. And I'll just read off a few things here about mixed uses. Determining the appropriate uses. The mixed use bylaws should allow housing, include multifamily, as well as retail, restaurants, offices, and civic uses. Other uses may be included housing for the elderly, personal service shops, childcare, recreational and municipal uses. How can you educate the public and address the citizens' concerns? Drafting a bylaw or adopting a bylaw are two different things, as any active citizen can attest. To get a bylaw successfully through the local legislation process requires an educated public and supportive interest group and stakeholders. Outlined below is the base of the proposal on an existing approved plan, such as a comprehensive plan or master plan, a community development plan, or similar study developed with substantial public participation. So you involve the public, involve all the stakeholders early in the process, and seek their input in developing that plan. Stakeholders include local officials, developers, business community, people who are abutting our city, and other advocacy groups, property owners, and citizens at large. We just got to make sure that everybody is involved in that process. So that's just one idea. I don't want to consider, or we shouldn't consider, things like protective over land uses or mixed uses until we consider some kind of a master plan and get the input from the community and everybody involved.
I can definitely get some example
Yeah.
of the survey and bring it to the next meeting, and maybe
Yeah.
we can comply them into
There's-
our own survey and
You
then
might
send them
wanna-
out with the city bills or something.
Just
You
have-
might want to write down this one, and I don't, Clarksville, Montgomery County, they have an example comprehensive plan, but they also have a survey. And it's computer generated, so you can, it's a much bigger community, but they generate their survey on the internet, so you don't have to sit there and fill in the boxes. But for us, I think it's a little survey that's easily filled out and checked with
Yeah.
added comments would do us just fine. And that could be mailed out in
With the city bill,
with
yeah.
the city bill.
Yeah, I can do that.
So,
So, Ryan, this is The company that writes that, is that who you talk to, or?
Yeah, they do that. They do this, yeah.
So, did they tell you about what it would cost to do?
Yes. Yeah, so
It's expensive.
it's very expensive. It varies depending on what you want,
Right,
obviously, but
right.
they said it can be between $10,000 to $200,000.
Booker, Willis, and Radcliffe also does it,
Yeah.
and I've got some information on them.
The group that I talked to yesterday, they also said that they'd be willing to, explain things for free. So if you guys wanted to talk to them, and they'd be willing to talk to the city council as well. Yeah, I had a really good conversation with them.
So my question is, if it costs us $20,000-$30,000 to do that, is it going to be beneficial? I mean, is it going to be worth spending that much money to do?
Well, we
I
have
think
to, we have to be able to use it. And city council and
Yeah.
us, that's the whole purpose of it, is to use the plan to make our decisions.
Right. But
So-
I mean, you can't tell me every city has one of these.
No, not every, no.
Actually, legally, you have to.
Well, not
The state has
Not-
a law that says you have to have.
certain populations. Small towns, I don't believe yet you do.
I'm just saying, if the county's not
Yeah.
running with one since
Well, they got
1992.
a strategic plan, but they haven't updated it on a yearly basis.
Right.
But there's other towns. I mean, I was planning commissioner over in Kinsley. They didn't have one in Kinsley. Towns like Great Bend, Pratt, Hutchinson, Dodge City, they do.
Well, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
they're
I
big.
Yeah.
don't think it's worth 20,000-30,000.
Yeah. But that's in this.
I mean,
Is
can
that-
we write
is
our
that-
own strategic
Well,
plan?
that's what I was going to say. Aaron Gleason talked to me when we were in the hearing, and he says, "Is that something that we can look at as generating our own plan?" I said, "Well, yes, we can, but there are certain aspects of that we probably can't do, and it all depends on, like mapping, GIS. We probably can't do."
But correct me if I'm wrong, we already have all that mapping, correct?
Yeah, we have.
It's already on digital
We
format.
have GIS mapping.
Yeah,
Does
that's
it
all
sh-
done.
For that, right? I mean, do you have GIS mapping for your water and
Yes.
sewer?
Yes.
I was gonna
It's
say.
it's
How
all
can-
digital.
How can that be?
You guys did the guy with the
Yep.
robot and stuff,
Yeah.
right?
But how can other people look at that?
So they'll just have to contact me,
Yeah.
fill out the request, request, because it's all online. So obviously, I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to print them out and give it to
We'll
us.
see. A comprehensive plan is it's also a published manual that shows maps, so that developers and community people can take a look at it without having to go into City Hall.
So if that's the case, can we send out survey, see what people want, and then we can make our own to where, okay, this is what people want, here's the plan that we put in place, and then in that book we can put a section to where okay, here's all the mapping of all the water line,
Yeah.
sewer line, blah blah blah. Is that something?
Is that did some consultant do that GIS work?
Yes.
Okay. So at that point, we would still be looking at future infrastructure, future gas or water lines. So that would all have to be updated.
I mean, you mean for if our town were to expand?
That's part of the master plan, is that you look at the area and see if there's any potential growth areas and how your system would work, and then also classify or designate your streets, whether they're a business street or a residential street. And so that's all part of that planning. So I mean, yeah, we can as a group, we can decide the need for growth.
Okay, talk now.
But when it comes down to
Okay.
the specific,
All right.
doing the document itself, we probably need some help.
Sure. So.
But I'm willing if everybody else to do the research, and I mean we've got to update our population projections, history of the community, and and different things like that. And I think we could probably do a lot of that. But we need to talk, we need to talk to the consultants and see,
I'm just saying, I don't think the city council's gonna be on board to spend $30,000.
No,
No, but if we did our
I don't
own
think they
and
are
had
either.
had somebody review it for a minimal price, that would be a bad deal, but it just depends on the price, cause I can't see spending a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
I think there's better things money could go to.
Maybe the legwork can be done by us, and then
Put
But
it
then again,
together
we
and
don't
then
know
review it.
what, like he said, there's so many components that going into that plan that,
see, we, of course, Dodge City's a much bigger town, but in that comprehensive plan process, we brought the community together, and had round tables, and got their input, their suggestions, and you had to have someone that can to control that meeting and write down all the information and compile that. So there's things that we could do.
if you guys want to, we can hold a public hearing, and
Yeah.
if whoever wants to come and voice their opinions of what they would like to see St. John at, we can definitely do
I mean-
that.
I think this,
I think the first thing is defining what you want to get out of the,
yeah.
whatever you create. So if you're doing it yourself, what are the things that you're wanting to put on the list of things that you want to be deliverables of whatever the
Well,
report
you can,
is, you know?
and you can get that through a mailer or submitting a survey, and that will help you define, if the community just does not care or don't want to do anything, then we can reduce that down to a very minimum. I mean, I'm hoping, it's like our zoning map, and and the house, the residential houses that we have in our commercial zone, that needs to change. But you do that by identifying that in a master plan. Say, okay, look, we've got these houses here that we know are residential. They're not in a commercial zone. So we need to make those changes.
Yeah,
So yeah, the first thing to do would be to educate the city council a little more. And maybe, some information from the consultants you've talked to get a little more information, explaining to them that we're just a small community. Because I think the city of Dodge City probably spent close to $200,000 on their comprehensive plan. So
Sure.
we don't have that kind of money.
No.
No.
Sure.
So yeah, I'll.
And I'm not advocating either way, by the way. I'm just
Yeah.
presenting information that I've found out. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll start on a survey and I'll bring it back to you guys to have a final say, and then we'll go from there and we'll send it out, and then we'll just kind of work at it a little bit by little.
So we're gonna go with 5 questions, 10 questions?
Oh, it'd be more than that.
Don't wanna
I
get
know
it
we-
too
Yeah,
long.
don't
or
make it
we're
too
just
long.
You don't wanna
gonna
make
throw
it too
away.
long, cause I know
Well,
exactly
no,
what people are
but-
gonna go.
But it's
T.
important. It's important to know. I mean, what? I think. Let's see here. Well, I don't want to look it up, but it's. There's examples out there.
Yeah, I'll bring some examples
Yeah,
out, and
and,
we can definitely.
You just need to do a
Shorten that.
search, and you can go to comprehensive planning Wikipedia, and it probably has the same kind of information that's in that plan. They're pretty standard. It's a standard format for the most part on the things that you need that you're required. Existing land use, future land use, infrastructure needs, potential growth, protecting your parks and greenways, those kind of things. I know that we're not going to ruin our city park, but it is zoned downtown commercial.
Which, we only took that over like 5 years ago.
Yeah, if that.
it
If
used
even
to be in
that.
the county.
Yeah.
They just didn't want to take care of it. I don't think.
Well, I mean, the city still took care of it. I think
Yeah.
it was just a deal of get it off.
I
there.
think originally, 100 years ago, there was supposed to be a courthouse there.
Mike's aunt, or I think it was his aunt, started the square. She
Yeah.
held recitals, had money to build the
Yeah,
square
yeah.
years ago. And there
Used
was
to be
nothing
a-
but dirt.
It used to be a buffalo wall, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's got all the literature on it. It's pretty cool. So,
So,
me personally, I would really like to start with the buildings around our square.
yeah.
I mean, literally.
Well, those are the kind of issues.
We've got to
Histo-
put some pressure on people.
Historic preservation. I've got some of my own little ideas. There's other communities that the way they deal with vacant buildings is they cover them up with old photographs of how St. John used to look.
Oh,
So you don't have to look through the dirty, filthy windows. You know,
that's interesting.
or you.
So we have the right to put something up on the window?
Well, no. I mean, the owner has to give permission. But
I do have something to say about the downtown area. I just got approval that we're going to do a Main Street program, a countywide Main Street program.
yeah.
So we're going to be one of the first ones to participate as a county to do a countywide Main Street. Each city will have to engage with that though to be a part of it. So that's something that we'll be offering as an option for people to participate with, which will include like education on how to upkeep and get businesses into your downtown areas and programs and stuff like that. So we'll be doing that. They'll send out the first wave of stuff at the beginning of next month, September. So I should be getting that out to city councils sometime in September.
Let's see, and that in itself can be incorporated into the
Mhm.
comprehensive plan, along with I know Stafford's doing a survey of their downtown buildings for historic preservation, and so it's I want to make sure that we save some of our buildings.
Yeah, we're doing a historical district survey.
Yeah.
We're going to create a historic district in Stafford. So the survey, I'm writing the RFP to get a consultant right now, which we'll be doing this next month,
Yeah.
and then hopefully by early next year we'll be fully into that, and it'll take about a year of the whole survey, and it's going to be really cool. I hope. The museum and the city both have like 11 buildings combined in that 3-block area that they own. And the museum has actually agreed to repurpose some of the buildings they own to be commercial. So we're working on that together.
And see, that's another step that we'll have to do eventually, is to create an RFP and start looking at consultants and pricing. How much it's going to cost. We need to identify what we can do and what we can't do, and then go from there. But I'm hoping that the city council will at least be favorable in starting that process.
Yeah, I think they have an open mind. It's just that when the price gets steep is when they're starting worrying about it.
Absolutely.
But when is our next meeting?
Well, a month from now, but we can do it sooner.
It would have to be. The next meeting will be on the 23rd of September,
What day is that?
Monday. Or we
Yeah,
can do it on the 26th. That's the Thursday. That's a month from now.
Yeah, Mondays are all right with me.
Okay. So
For some reason, I couldn't do it this last Monday. I don't remember.
Yep. So on September 23rd, I'll have examples of surveys, questions to you guys, and then we'll see.
I know why. I work at the lodge that night.
Oh. So do you wanna move
But
it to the 26th?
Thursdays are better.
You guys okay with Thursdays?
Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, whatever.
Tomato, tomato.
I'll be hot and heavy in those orange things, but if I'm here, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay, if there's any additional help or any information that you need to help make a presentation to the city council,
Yeah. I'll try to compile everything
Yeah.
here and then what we have talked about the survey and everything and us doing the legworks and stuff like
Do
that. That
you
should help
have to
you
present
guys.
them this next week?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Yeah, you need more time, probably.
Yeah. Because I can always do it on the second meeting, the council's. So that way I can have more time to get everything.
I mean, it's
on
gonna
one
take
page.
some time, so we
Yeah.
Yeah.
we have time.
Yeah.
We're not in any rush. Okay. Is there anything else that anybody wants to discuss? I guess I'll
Let's go.
entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I guess I should have asked if there's any additional conversation.